Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Minnesota Twins discussion, Minnesota Twins talk here. But before we get into the video, I just want to say the Minnesota Twins game was postponed today. So it will not be playing today. The doubleheader will be in the future, probably tomorrow or Sunday. But as of April 12th, 2019, the Friday, there is no game. So if you're watching this when it is uploaded, no game today. We'll come back with a game review whenever the games are played. There will be no game review today. Okay, so now that we're done with that, let's jump into today's video, which is basically about the bullpen, right? So the bullpen, we know that it's not been great. They've been really struggling, specific guys in particular, but the bullpen itself has not really been fantastic. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you my opinion, and we can talk about it later. So let's just jump into it, right? So I want to start from the beginning, and that is the beginning of the year. The Twins did something a little bit interesting that I haven't seen before from them, at least. They usually have about 12, 13, 14 pitchers on the team, and that only leaves you about 11 or 12 guys as position players. Well, this year, Baldelli was like, hey, let's flip that around. So the Twins started the season with 14 position players on the team, 4 starters, and the rest bullpen guys, which is 7, I think. So they have like 8 guys. Martin Perez, I don't know. I guess you can put him in either. So they have 11 pitchers and 14 position players. And obviously, they wanted to try to figure out, the Twins management wanted to try to figure out who is good, who's not, who's good against righties, who's good away, who's good against lefties, who's good at home, what kind of attributes every player has, right? So they were trying to figure this out, and obviously that makes sense why they would bring in 14 position players, especially with so many days off, right? So that's another big thing that I think had a really big important factor into why there are 14 position players. If you have so many days off, you know, pitching can get rest. They don't need as many guys in so many games, so they can, like I said, rest and take a game off so they're not putting so much strain on their arm. And then they can come back in after that day of rest, like they, you know, it's like 2 days now that they can pitch, right? Wednesday, break Thursday, but they can come back Friday. So they don't need 12, 13 guys to continuously go through every single day. Now, starting today or starting tomorrow, whenever they play, there's going to be 13 games in, 12 days now, possibly? So that could be, you know, very strenuous on the pitching. We might go back to what we used to have with 13 pitchers. But the point I'm trying to make here is the position players, there's 14 of them. They wanted to see who would do well and who would struggle, so they could pick and choose who's going to go down after. Maybe we have to bring up a couple pitchers, or who we could trade away. Like we traded Austin, right? We traded Austin to the Giants, got minor league guy or whatever. So it made sense, right? We were seeing how Austin would do. Unfortunately, I liked Austin. I wanted him to stay, but we sent him out, pulled up another pitcher. So now we have 12 and 13. So I'm assuming we'll probably have that happen one more time, which could be really interesting to see who gets traded then. But that's not the topic of the video. So let's just jump right into now the bullpen. We know the bullpen has struggled this year, and it's a little bit frustrating considering they have the days off. And that's what I'm thinking is the problem. So there's obviously a good thing and a bad thing to come out of this, right? The good thing is you only need, 7 bullpen guys, and they're resting, they're getting more days off, they're supposed to be doing better because of their days off, let their arm heals, they don't have to pitch every day, right? But I think that is actually doing the opposite. It's causing them bad luck, basically. They're getting a day off, and while their arm, it's resting, they're not getting that consistency. So, I mean, the thing, right, about bullpen guys is they're not throwing 100 pitches. They're not throwing 75. They're not throwing 50 pitches. They're probably throwing a couple batters, right, and their bullpen warm-up, right? So, 30 pitches maybe. A good reliever in that inning would throw 30 pitches. I think that's not unreasonable to throw every day, right? Now, again, I'm not a major league player. I'm not a pitcher. But I'm just saying, 20 to 30 pitches every day. I think that's what they do anyways, to like get bullpens and stuff like that, or every couple of days. I don't think that's unreasonable for them to throw like 20, 30 pitches a day. And if they're doing that in the game, well, there you go, right? You get your 1 inning, 20 pitches. That's probably a little bit high in some cases. It's probably a little low, like Chase DeYoung. But if they're throwing every day, that's great. And with these inconsistencies in the schedule, with so many days off, and now a snow delay or whatever's going on, they're not getting that consistency to throw 30 pitches every day. They might do it in, the bullpen sessions, but that's not real gameplay. It's not really seeing someone. So that's one problem. The other problem is we just faced the freaking best 2 teams in the NL. There's nothing you can really do about it. We've played Cleveland. They're a tough team. Kansas City at home is a tough team. Philly in Philly, and the Mets in the Mets. Is that all? I think that's it. So, literally, those are 4 incredibly tough places to play. Right? Cleveland, Philly, the Mets. All playoff teams, for sure. Cleveland maybe not this year, but their pitching is still good. And then you got Kansas City and Kansas City. It's hard. It's hard to play against some of these teams. And especially with the days off. Throw it together, and you're looking at a disaster. Now, the third thing I think that we have a problem with is who we're actually putting in. So, Baldelli at the beginning of the year said he doesn't want to have a specific closer. He doesn't want to have anyone specific for certain innings. So, let's just say Gibson goes 5, and then Parker gets the 6th, Trevor May gets the 7th, Taylor Rogers the 8th, and then Ryan Harper or Trevor Hildenberger gets the 9th. One of those 2 guys. So, right, he doesn't want to have that. He doesn't want to have that system, or even like Chris Sale comes in, and then, actually that's a terrible example because I don't know anybody in the bullpen for the Red Sox, but you've got the Dodgers, you got Kershaw goes 8, and then Jansen gets the 9th, kind of thing, right? So, Baldelli was like, I don't want to have that. He's like, I want to play matchups. In particular, lefty versus righty. In the later innings of the game, I want to put matchup versus matchup to give us the best chance, and it doesn't matter who goes in. It doesn't matter if it's, Mejia or Rogers for the lefty on lefty matchup. Whichever one has a better stats, I guess, versus their player, they're going to go in. So that leads us to where we were against the Mets. This is why I want to talk about this video, is because obviously something didn't go right in the Mets games. Both games, Chase DeYoung came in the first game, gave up 4 runs, and second, Andrew Vasquez came in, hit a guy, walked 2 more, and he was gone. So why is this happening? I really don't know. Besides the consistency, besides the cold, besides, I don't know why this is going on. The thing I'm more concerned about, I'm not concerned that it happened. I'm concerned, I'm concerned that it happened. I'm concerned, why did it happen in the first place? Let's just look at our bullpen. So Martin Perez is a lefty. Taylor Rogers is a lefty. Mejia is a lefty. We have 3 lefties in our bullpen. We put in Vasquez with the bases loaded to get 1 or 2 outs. He did not do it. His ERA is infinite right now, and I don't expect him to be back up in the majors anytime soon. But why did we put him in when we had Martin Perez? It was the 4th? No, it was the 5th inning. It was the 5th inning with, I think there was 2 outs actually. So we brought in Vasquez to get 1 out in the 5th inning. Why did we not put in Martin Perez to get through the 5th, 6th, and 7th? He is literally our designated long reliever right now until he gets to start 50 pitches or so. Why did we not put him in that situation? We got Taylor Rogers, who is one of the best left-handed pitchers against left-handed batters in the major leagues, and we didn't put him in because were we saving him? I'm not sure. Mejia pitched great against Kansas City. He had 1 struggling game against Philly, 2 struggling games, whatever. Philly's a good team, but why not him? Why did we put in a guy with absolutely no experience to play against, bases loaded against a pretty good hitter? I don't know who it was, but Why? Same with Chase DeYoung. I get this is a little bit of a different situation where we were up so much we could risk it, but at the same point, why? I mean, the Chase DeYoung makes sense to me because it's like, hey, we want to get this guy experience, but also he walked. Here, let me just look here. He gave up 3 hits, a home run, 3 walks, no strikeouts, 4 earned runs. Why didn't we pull him? I mean, I get that we're trying to get him experience and we had such a big lead to play with, but a home run, another home run, would have made it a 3-run game. And I'm sure we would have put somebody else in then, but why? Why are we letting them go so long? Vasquez, as soon as he hit that guy, let that run score, it was 1-1, he's gone. I'm pulling him immediately. You did not do your job. Sorry, you're done. Unless, I mean, the only reason I would keep him in one more batter is if there was another lefty on deck, and I don't think there was. So, immediately, you're done. We have so many other guys that have had experience, and we just didn't let them, we didn't put them in, and that's why we lost that game. I'm not saying we would have won it, but I'm saying that is what lost us that game, because we did come back. Would we have come back in another situation? Maybe, maybe not. But those 6 runs, because of Vasquez, and I mean, Hildenberger struggled, but to not put in that matchup that you're talking about, because there's no way Vasquez outmatches up Taylor Rogers in that situation. That's frustrating. It's confusing. I'm not sure what Baldelli was really thinking there, unless he was, like I said, the freshest pitcher in the pen, and he was lefty on lefty, so I mean, he's got to be good, right? Our bullpen, really, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. And if Martin Perez goes back up to the starters, you got to figure out how to work with those 6 guys then, because I do not want to see Chase Young or Andrew Vasquez back up in the major leagues, back pitching in big situations, because we're just going to lose games. I mean, I'm not saying we should roll with 6 bullpen guys, but we got to figure it out, because those guys definitely outdid or outperformed Vasquez and DeYoung, and they're still getting work in. So do your work in bullpen sessions by getting live reps there, because I don't want to see them back on the field. There's nothing against them. That's just they could not produce. And if you can't produce, I don't want you on the field. So that's all I got for you for today in this video. I'll come back a little bit later with another one. But let me know what you guys think about the bullpen system. Do we roll with 6 guys, or what do we do? Because I'm very confused. There's nobody else we can really bring up either. So I don't know what we do. If we roll with 6 guys, or who we should have put in that situation. But that's all I got for you today. Make sure to come back tomorrow for another one. And we'll see you back here later, I guess. Not tomorrow.